replacing the alternator on a Honda Accord today. We'll be replacing it with this lifetime warranty Duralast alternator from AutoZone, which cost about $130. It has a $26 core charge, meaning when you take the old one back, they'll give you $26 back. Looking at the engine, the alternator is on the front passenger side of the engine compartment, located right here. Of course, the first thing you want to do is loosen and remove the negative cable from the negative terminal on your battery, so there's no charge flowing through the system. It's a little too tight down in there for me to be able to get a ratchet and a socket onto the tensioner to be able to loosen the belt. It's a 14 millimeter that you have to use, so I have a box-end wrench on there, and I'm going to use another larger box-end wrench to use some leverage to actually be able to push on that thing to loosen the belt and get it off. There's a 10 millimeter nut that holds on the output cable on the back of the alternator. There's a rubber boot that's covering it. It's connected to this harness right here. You just have to kind of peel back that rubber boot to get to that 10 millimeter nut. It's a little precarious to get to. Be careful not to drop and lose the nut. Once you get the nut off of the output portion of the harness, it's kind of want to use a screwdriver to kind of prise it out to get it off. It's a little hard to get in there. Once you have that part off, the output, then you also want to squeeze this tab in on this connector to remove the rest of the harness and kind of push it out of the way so that you can work to get to the bolts that are holding it on. We have three 12 millimeter bolts that are holding on this alternator. We have one right here, and then there's two down below. Might need a short extension to get to the two down below. Just need to loosen those up, and then we'll be able to pop this baby off. Yeah, so it looks like this Duralast, the new Duralast alternator that I got from AutoZone, lifetime warranty on it, comes with a lot of the hardware already mounted on it. It has the nut to mount the output part of the harness on there, the bracket for the receiver of the connector that comes off the harness. The only thing I might need to move over is this metal clip that holds the harness in place up off of the manifold. So I might have to take this nut off and then just replace it and move it over to the new one. The new one comes with the pulley already installed. Looks great. It all matches up. All the holes seem to line up. Looks just the same. So I'm about to get started. I'm going to move that harness clip over to the new alternator, and then I will just put it back on in the reverse order that I just took it off. Once you get the new alternator squeezed back in around these tubes and all, it's kind of a tight fit to get it back in. Make sure that your belt's going to be situated where you're going to be able to route it right. It's not pinned down underneath. And you want to go ahead and you want to push in. You want to start off with your top bolt so that the alternator kind of hangs on it, so that you can, and not tighten it down all the way, just kind of get it in there so that you can line up the 2 bolts below and get those started real well, and then cinch them all down. And then after that, we'll be starting to put back in the harness, reseal the water seal and all that on the harness, and then we will, like I said, we're still going in reverse order. Once I get all this put back together, I'll try to get this belt, serpentine belt, back wrapped around, and make sure that it's all routed in the right way around each pulley for each device. And I think that you could possibly, if you can't figure out which way it goes, there might be a diagram inside your owner's manual that tells you which way that it all feeds around each pulley. Little spark plugs. They're deep down inside there. So all checks out.